Getting ready for a Valentine's inspired nail design that's easy, budget friendly, and perfect for beginners. I'll be using the Saviland Polygel kit to create this stunning jelly glitter nude look with a rhinestone heart design and textured pinky nail. Plus, I'll show you how to prep your nails using the tools from the kit so you could recreate these nails at home. Let's get started. Let's take a closer look at everything that comes in this massive Saviland Polygel kit. It has 312 items and I'll walk you through them in sections to keep it organized. So let's dive in. The first thing I see when I open the box is this user manual. It's actually really helpful. It has all their contact information for Instagram, TikTok, and customer support. On the back, it shows step-by-step instructions for applying polygel with dual forms or nail forms, plus how to remove polygel. Definitely a good resource if you're new to polygel nails. Next up is a bag packed with essentials for nail prep and polygel application. Let me show you what's inside. We've got a polygel brush with a spatula on one end, a cuticle pusher, a gel brush with a dotting tool on the other end, and a nail clipper. I was surprised to see the clipper has a built-in file. I haven't seen that in ages. There's also a cuticle scraper, tweezers, a dust brush, and cuticle oil. Everything you need to prep your nails. For nail art, we've got striping tapes. Though I'll admit, I'm not a fan since they never seem to stick properly, but there are also gold nail stickers, rhinestones in a container, which includes emo hearts, butterfly glitters, pearls, 3D flowers, and even gold and silver foils. Tons of decorative options. Moving on, there's a rhinestone wheel, a classic in most kits, paper dual forms, a 100/180 grit hand file, and a 100/180 grit buffer. I also found some wipes that I initially thought were lint free. They're thin but seem pretty strong, so they might work well. Then we have 3 dual form clips, rhinestone gel glue which is nicely sealed, a dampen dish, and slip solution. Lots of useful tools here. Next, I pulled out 2 boxes of dual forms. I'll be honest, I'm not a fan of dual forms, so I won't be using them in this video. But I noticed something interesting. There's a set of toe nail forms included. I've never seen these before and I think they're really cool. We also have Saviland 4-time anti-peel protection system, which includes the top coat, primer, dehydrator, and base coat. These are essential for making sure your polygel nails last. Next in the box, we've got a pair of UV gloves to protect your hands from the lamp, which is a nice touch. And now for the fun part, polygels. This kit includes 6 15-gram tubes of polygel. I'll show you each one. They're all jelly polygels, which surprised me since I expected opaque colors. There's a mix of nudes and one clear polygel. I'll swatch them all at the end so you can see the colors up close. Finally, we have the nail lamp. It's smaller than I expected, but it's an 88 watts nail lamp with curing time for 60 seconds, 80 seconds, and 99 seconds. I found it strange that there's no 30 seconds option, and the buttons for the timer are pretty hard to see. I know they are going for a sleek aesthetics, but it would have been nice if the buttons were more noticeable. Also, the cord is USB without an adapter and it's quite short, which isn't ideal, but overall it's functional. So that's everything in this huge Saviland polygel kit. It's packed with tools, decorations, and polygels, making it a great starter kit for beginners. Let's move on to the design and see what we can create. Before starting nail prep, I'm sanitizing the cuticle pusher, cuticle scraper, and dampen dish with some rubbing alcohol. It's a quick but important step to keep everything clean and hygienic. To prep my nails, I'm starting by pushing back the cuticles with the cuticle pusher. Then I'm using the pointy end to gently scrape off anything left on the nail plate. Next, I tried the cuticle scraper to remove any dead cuticles. This was my first time using one, and while it's okay, I still prefer using cuticle nippers for this step. Once that's done, I'm buffing the surface of my nails with the buffer provided in the kit to remove any shine. I'm using coffer nail tips that I got from Amazon. Finding the right size is key. The tips should fit perfectly from sidewall to sidewall without needing to be forced. After sizing them, I applied the tips using the base coat provided and my Mother One's nail lamp. I flash cured each tip for 15 seconds, then fully cured all the nails for 30 seconds once they were on. Now, I'll be honest, I forgot to apply sunscreen to my hands before starting, which is something I definitely want to remember in 2025. It's important for protecting your skin from the lamp's UV exposure. I also added UV gloves for extra protection. It's a habit I want to stick to. I also forgot to apply the dehydrator and primer before applying the tips, so I'm doing that now. These steps help with adhesion and are especially important for long-lasting nails. After applying the dehydrator and primer, I realized I forgot to buff the surface of the nail tips, so I'm doing that now. Buffing helps the polygel adhere better to the tips. Once that's done, I applied a thin layer of gel base coat to all the nails and cured for 60 seconds. Even though the lamp doesn't have a 30 seconds cure option, I decided to stick to the full 60 seconds for this step. But later in the video, I started curing for 30 seconds because, let's be real, nobody has time for that. Now that everything is prepped, I'm pouring the sip solution into the dampen dish provided, and it's time to apply the polygel. For this design, I'll be using the Jelly Glitter Nude Polygel on all the nails. It's such a soft, romantic shade, perfect for Valentine's. I started by applying a small bead of the polygel to the nail and then evenly distributing it across the entire nail. While I was working, I noticed some stray bristles on my polygel brush sticking out, which can get a little annoying. To fix this, I just trimmed the stray bristles with my cuticle nippers before continuing. If this happens to you, it's a quick and easy fix. Back to applying the polygel, I always start at the cuticle area, being really careful to keep it neat and avoid touching the skin. Then I work my way down to the tip, making sure the product is evenly distributed. I really love how this Jelly Glitter Nude Polygel looks. It's subtle but so cute, especially with that hint of sparkle. Once the application was done, I cured the nail for 60 seconds. I decided to apply a second layer to see how it looked, but I didn't like how opaque the nail became. It completely changed the vibe of the design. So I removed the second layer and stuck with just one layer for the look I wanted. After applying one layer of the Jelly Glitter Nude Polygel to all the nails off camera, I ran into some issues. On the middle, ring, and pinky nail, I noticed the nails were very cloudy and it was really noticeable. The first thing that came to mind was the sip solution. It's almost always the culprit in situations like this. To troubleshoot, I tried using rubbing alcohol to clean the underside of the nails, thinking the cloudiness might be there, but it wasn't. I was also surprised that this didn't happen to my index nail, but since it was the first nail I worked on, I guess the sip solution hadn't caused any issues yet. To confirm my theory, I used rubbing alcohol instead of sip solution when doing the thumbnail, and as I suspected, the cloudiness didn't happen. At that point, I knew the sip solution was definitely the issue. So off camera, I redid the middle, ring, and pinky nail using rubbing alcohol instead, and the results were so much better. Now it's time to encapsulate the nails using the clear polygel provided in the kit. I was pleasantly surprised by how clear this polygel is. It's one of the clearest I've seen. When I squeezed it out of the tube, it came out so effortlessly that I was convinced it would flood the cuticles. But to my surprise, it didn't, except for one nail, which was totally manageable. The consistency of this clear polygel is really impressive. It's soft but firm at the same time, which made it easy to work with and not at all what I was expecting. To encapsulate, I used just one bead per nail, distributing it evenly across the surface. I started at the cuticle area, carefully smoothing it down to the tip to lock in the glitter and give the nails a smooth, even surface. I cured each nail for 30 seconds, and after finishing one nail on camera, I completed the rest off camera. The encapsulation process was quick and simple, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. To start, I'm using the wipes provided and rubbing alcohol to remove the sticky layer from all the nails. Earlier in the video, I mentioned that I thought these wipes were lint-free, but I quickly learned they are not. Let's just say I won't be using these for top coat finishes again. Next, I began filing the nails using the 100/180 grit hand file from the kit. While it worked fine, I eventually switched to my 80/80 grit file because it's faster and easier for me to shape the nails. For the cuticle area, I used my e-file for a clean and seamless finish. I didn't need to debulk the nails since they were already a great thickness. After shaping, I buffed the nails with the buffer provided in the kit. To finish this step, I used the brush from the kit along with some rubbing alcohol to remove all the dust, leaving the nails clean and ready for the top coat. For the next step, I applied the top coat provided in the kit and cured for 60 seconds. After applying the top coat to one nail, I noticed something unexpected. On my index and middle nail, my natural nails were showing through the jelly polygel. This happened because I didn't cut those nails short enough before starting. They were slightly longer than the rest, which made them more visible under the translucent jelly finish. The rest of nails are shorter, so the natural nails aren't visible through the polygel. If you're using a jelly or sheer product like this, I recommend trimming your natural nails to an even length beforehand to avoid this issue. It's a small detail, but it really makes a difference in the final look. Once I was finished, I noticed the nails still felt a little sticky. Not sure if it was my mind playing tricks on me or the product itself, but I wasn't a fan. The finish also wasn't as shiny as I would have liked, so I'll be addressing that later in the design process. I also cleaned the underside of the nails and applied top coat there for a polished look, curing for 30 seconds. Off camera, I took a closer look at the rhinestones and silver caviar beads included in the kit. While they are decent quality, they just didn't pop against the jelly nude polygel. They weren't as bright or sparkly as I wanted it. Comparing them to the rhinestones and caviar beads I already have, I decided to use my own as they are much shinier and better suited for this design. That said, the ones in the kit are still a great option for beginners. For the design, I'm using the rhinestone glue provided along with a nail art brush. On the middle and index nail, I drew half of a heart on each nail, making sure the two halves would connect when placed together. I added iridescent rhinestones to the design and didn't cure until both nails were done to ensure they matched perfectly. Once I was happy with the placement, I cured for 30 seconds. To secure the rhinestones further, I applied a bit more rhinestone glue around them, followed by Model 1's top coat for extra shine. Then I added the silver caviar beads around the design for a finishing touch. Once everything was in place, I cured the nails one final time. For the pinky nail, I applied rhinestone glue to the entire nail. Before curing, I placed a few iridescent rhinestones sparingly across the nail for a subtle sparkle. Then I used the jelly beads provided in the kit and poured them over the nail to completely cover it. Once everything was neatly placed and I cleaned up the edges to preserve the nail shape, I cured for 30 seconds. This created a fun, textured look that adds a unique touch to the set. On the ring nail, I applied rhinestone glue and a layer of gel top coat. Before curing, I added a bow on the nail and I placed one rhinestone in the center of the bow for a polished, elegant detail. After securing everything, I cured for 30 seconds. And that's it, the final look is complete. I love how this Valentine's inspired design turned out. It's simple, romantic, and has just the right amount of sparkle. As for the Saviland Polygel kit, here's my honest review. It's packed with a lot of useful tools and decorations, making it a fantastic starter kit for beginners. I loved the Jelly Glitter Nude Polygel. It's soft, romantic, and easy to work with. The clear polygel was also impressive. It's one of the clearest I've used and had a great consistency. However, the rhinestones and silver caviar beads included in the kit weren't as sparkly as I'd hoped, so I ended up using my own. The lint-free wipes weren't actually lint-free, which was a bit disappointing, but the other prep tools like the dehydrator, primer, and UV gloves were great additions. For the design, I think it turned out beautifully despite some small challenges, like the cloudiness issues with the sip solution and the natural nail visibility under the jelly polygel. These were minor hiccups and I was able to resolve them, but they are good reminders for the next time. If I had to rate this kit, I'd give it an 8 out of 10. It's an excellent value for the price, especially for beginners. But there's room for improvement with some of the decorations and accessories. As for the design, I'd give it a 9 out of 10. It's elegant, festive, and perfect for Valentine's Day, but I think it could have been even better with a few tweaks. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it helpful. If you're looking to try this kit, check out the alternative I linked below. It's a great option for beginners. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more nail tutorials. Let me know in the comments what design you'd like to see next. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye guys!